Hey everyone, Dave Sports Cards here, back in another video. Today, going to be discussing autographs and if they fade over time. I've seen people who've asked this question before on the forums, and some people think that over time, no matter what, autographs do fade. I believe that it is a matter of storage, how it's stored. Where you store them. So first, let's talk about things that can actually affect autographs over time. Those would be UV light, specifically natural sunlight. I've seen people who put their cards on display in well-lit rooms and rooms with a lot of natural light, and that is a big no. You do not want to do that. Another thing that can really kill autographs is fluorescent lighting. Fluorescent lighting can be a pretty big killer of autographs. Some other things are temperature and humidity. Now, regardless of how you store your cards, if you're in a high humidity area or you store them in a high humidity location, you're going to have problems. Now, as for autographs just on their own fading over time, they're not going to do that unless an outside force is causing them to do that. They don't just fade over time. Something has to cause them to fade. So here is an autograph from 2000, Harmon Killebrew. Check that out. See how nice and clear and bold that autograph is. Here's an Andre Dawson from 2003 Topps Tribute. Here's a Sparky Anderson from 2003 Topps Tribute. All nice, clean, bold autographs, no fading. Here's a Ken Griffey Jr. from 2001. Again, no fading, nice and bold. And they look just as clean and bold as an autograph from even just a few years ago. Lou Brock, LK line, nice bold autographs. Now, here are some cards that, not that they've really faded, but I know that over time they've darkened, because I pulled these myself back in 2001 and 2002. Here's an Enos Slaughter. It's kind of a darker blue now. The color used to be more like this Harmon Killebrew. It was a brighter blue. And it's darkened. Now this card hasn't been stored in direct sunlight. The only things I can think that would have affected it are maybe older penny sleeves that it was in, if they weren't acid free, or older 9-pocket pages, or humidity. For a while, the room that these were in many years ago, back in 2001, was a hot room, high humidity room. That was my room when I was a kid back in 2001. Used to hit in the summer mid-90s in my bedroom. Here is another one that I know has darkened over time. Jim Cott. Again, here it is next to a Harmon Killebrew. And another one that has darkened over time. It's not that they've faded, they've darkened. The signatures are still bold. It's still a bold autograph. You know, these aren't, it's not like the ink is missing. It's darkening, which is kind of odd. That one I can't quite wrap my head around, but it's not that they're faded. They've just darkened over time. You know, and again, it could have been the circumstances in which it was stored. Humidity could have caused this. But what I can say is that since I have had them in magnetics and not in those conditions, they haven't darkened at all. It just seemed like it was that few years that they were in those conditions that they were affected. And you can see the nice blue of some older ones here. Now I have autographs that are black ink autographs that haven't changed a bit. Here's one that I pulled back in 2001, and it looks the same as it did when I pulled it. It hasn't faded at all. Here is a Torrey Hunter autograph from 1995 that hasn't faded one bit. Now, a big thing that people run into are autographed balls. Now, I have here, I had this signed in person. JD Martinez, nice clean signature, as well as Nick Castellanos. This is an official Major League ball. This was a game-used ball. It's got the hologram on it right there. Game-used ball. No bleeding, no fading, nothing like that. Now, this is a Chinese ball. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but the signature has bled into the ball. Now eventually the signature may be gone. It may take quite a few years, but it is a China ball. Mainly you can see it right there, top of that loop. But, so that's an example. No matter how you store these Chinese balls that you get signed, they're going to do that no matter how you store them. It's just unavoidable. Upper Deck had the same problem with their Sweet Spot autographs. You look at some of those and there's just, you wouldn't even know there was ever an autograph on it. So in my opinion, the preferred way to actually store your collection, your cards, your autographs, or balls in general, are honestly put them in boxes. Don't leave them out, especially in a room that has a lot of natural light coming in. Or incandescent lights, I believe, can cause fading over time. In my office here, like my lights for my videos are strictly LED lights. The fixture in my ceiling fixture bulbs are LEDs, so I only use LEDs. And that is your best bet. If you're going to display them or whatever, that's your best bet to prevent against fading or anything like that. But in general, I wouldn't recommend really having stuff out on display. And if you're going to do it, you really need to control the lighting and really pay attention to what you're doing and how you're displaying it. You can get UV protection all you want, like those ball cubes. The UV protection is only good for so many years on those. You can't just leave them out for 20 years and expect nothing to happen. So you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. I believe these Ultra Pro magnetics provide a little bit of UV protection. I could be wrong. I'd actually have to read one of the little inserts that come in it to see whether or not they do. But again, if you put the thing in direct sunlight or if you put the thing under fluorescent lighting, over time it's going to fade the autograph no matter what. So my advice, in my opinion, is just watch what you're doing if you're going to put your stuff on display. As for me, my cards, they stay in boxes. They stay in magnetics, in team bags, inside of 2-row boxes for my autographs and patches and all that stuff. I just would rather not risk it. I try to pay attention to the humidity because, like I said, something like that could have been caused by heat or humidity, because this signature used to be a lot more blue like that. But again, it's not that it's faded, it's like it's lost pigment, so I guess in a way you could say it's faded. But you know, this autograph is from 16 years ago, and you know, I got an autograph from, where'd that Torii Hunter go? A Torii Hunter here from 22 years ago, and the Torii Hunter looks more blue than the you know, Slaughter autograph. And this is 22 years old, and this is 16 years old, so it just depends on how you store them and where they're stored at. But I hope you guys learned something from this video. If any of you were ever curious about that or wondered, I hoped that helped answer some questions or shed some light on the subject. But if you guys have any input, go ahead and post it below, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informational for you guys, and stay tuned for my next video.